Hey everyone, welcome back to Airstream Expeditions. We're Julio and Erica. Welcome back to part 2 of our trip to the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. In the previous episode, we paddled our kayak over 10 miles down the Colorado River and enjoyed taking in the serene beauty of Glen Canyon from the river. In this episode, we continue exploring the surrounding area and learn about its fascinating history. After that, we'll hitch up our Airstream and take a short drive to the Antelope Point Marina, where we'll explore beautiful Lake Powell by watercraft. So stick around and join us on our adventure in the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. After a beautiful 10-mile paddle down the Colorado River the previous day, we woke up the next morning and decided to explore the rest of the area with the time we had remaining. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, then the Lee's Ferry Campground is the perfect place to post up. Here, you're surrounded by many spectacular things to do. To the west, you have the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, a remote and unspoiled 280,000-acre monument that's a geological treasure. One of the more popular things to do here is to hike the Wave. People come from all over the world to see the colorful swirls of cross-bedded sandstone. To the south, you have the Grand Canyon. It's one of the world's more powerful and inspiring scenic landscapes and a very popular national park. Just east of the Colorado River, north of Lee's Ferry, is the city of Page, Arizona. The main attraction here is the Horseshoe Bend Vista Point, where you can get a bird's eye view of the iconic Horseshoe Bend. This area is also known for its fantastic slot canyons such as Antelope Canyon. For a fee, you can take a guided tour and take in the beauty of this fantastic area. Our first stop of the day would be the Lonely Dell Historic Ranch. When the Mormons migrated west to settle in present-day Salt Lake City, the Church of Latter-day Saints sent Mormon missionary Jacob Hamlin to the area, where in 1864 he successfully crossed the Colorado River near here. Soon after that, Brigham Young, Mormon president of the Church of Latter-day Saints, sent leader and confidant John D. Lee to establish a ferry crossing here, hence the name of the area, Lee's Ferry. The Lonely Dell Ranch got its name because of its remoteness and isolation. We're here at the Lonely Dell Ranch. Apparently the people who used to run Lee's Ferry lived here, which is within a few hundred yards away from the actual ferry. So they lived here and they had to grow their own food for themselves and their livestock. They have an orchard here and people are allowed to pick some of the fruit here as long as it's in season for personal consumption, and it's a maximum of 5 gallons per person. They even have the little pickers there for you. I'm gonna try to get one from the top. This is a wild pear tree right here. Sounds a little crunchy for a pear, but let's see. I guess not much is in season right now, other than the wild pear tree that we found. The fruit was pretty good. I think if you let it ripen for a couple of days, it would get sweeter, but nice little peaceful area here in this orchard at the Lonely Dell Ranch. Right next to the orchard was the old plow that the families that lived here for many years used to plant everything you see here. Next to that is the day use area, a cool and shaded area with plenty of trees and picnic tables, perfect to cool off during warmer months and have a nice lunch. The first structure we came across was the Weaver House. It's important to know that after John D. Lee passed away and the family sold the property, it exchanged hands various times. The Weaver House is one of the newer structures here on the property. Entrance to the Weaver House. And you said it's run by the National Park Service, right?
Now it is. This wealthy couple bought it for the retirement home and added electricity and water.
The Weavers struggled to make a profit and soon gave up on their dream. The National Park now maintains this historic site to preserve the spirit of the Western exploration times. Another interesting structure that I had never seen before was the root cellar, which was built right around 1878. The walls are made from flagstone and the roof is made from dirt. This partially dug out building was common on most pioneer farms and ranches. Before modern electric appliances, the cellar acted as a refrigerator to keep vegetables from freezing in the winter, butter and cheese from going bad in the summer, and it provided workers with a place to hide out in the hot sun. So the ranch and the structure has apparently changed hands a few times. It says here that the Johnson family built a 2-story house for his family using the proceeds from the ferry. They tore down the previous owner's cabin to make room for a new home, removing the last Lee family structure at the Lonely Dell Ranch. It is peaceful. So I guess the history behind this is whoever lived here were the people who ran the ferry down the way. It changed hands about 3 times, and 3 different families lived here, adding on to the existing structures, knocking them down, building new structures. Look at this stove, honey. Well made. Has survived the elements over the years. Pretty sure it was used to maintain the land. This is interesting. In 1925, Jerry Johnson, son of former ferryman Warren Johnson, and his wife Samantha built this cabin as part of a polygamist haven. With the completion of the Navajo Bridge in 1929, travelers bypassed Lee's Ferry and the ranch grew quiet. Johnson and his family decided it would be a perfect place to live and discreetly practice their religion, which included plural marriages. At that time, polygamy was illegal and no longer accepted by the Church of Latter-day Saints. By 1934, the commune had relocated and the new owners incorporated the cabin into their dude ranch. Here are some of the old irrigation systems used to water the plants for the families that, plants and fruit trees for the families that used to live here. The irrigation system, and there's the orchard. The original settler of this ranch was John D. Lee, a practicing Mormon polygamist, and 2 of his families. Lee was also a fugitive. At the time, Mormon Church President Brigham Young sent Lee to this remote area to operate a ferry across the Colorado River. Plus, this also put Lee in a secluded enough area to hide from the authorities after his role in the Mountain Meadows Massacre, where he led a militia of Latter-day Saints and carried out a deliberate massacre of a wagon train of 120 men, women, and children traveling from Arkansas to California. In 1876, the law finally caught up with Lee and he was convicted and eventually executed in 1877. This is an actual photo of Lee sitting next to his gravesite right before he was executed. Our next stop was just down the road, heading back towards Lee's Ferry Campground, and is right across the road. And just a few hundred yards from Lee's Ferry Campground, you can walk down the hill there to Paria Beach. This is called Paria Beach. This is officially where the Grand Canyon starts, I believe. Anyhow, water from the Paria River and the Colorado River meet into this narrow channel, which is why the water flows a lot quicker here than other places. But it really does look like a beach. It's very sandy, nice quiet area. Over here the water's pretty calm, so you can actually spend a whole day here, bring a chair, bring some food, a little cooler, and picnic here the whole entire day. Next, we took a 10-minute drive up the road to Navajo Bridge. Navajo Bridge is not only an amazing place to see, but it also has some very interesting history behind it. It's also unique in the fact that most people outside of this area don't even know it exists. When you arrive here, you'll see a parking lot. Once you find a spot, there's a visitor center for you to check out, and there's also clean restrooms. After the visitor center, we started our walk across the bridge. You'll get amazing views of the Colorado River while walking the old Navajo Bridge, and also have an option to drive across the new Navajo Bridge. These two bridges represent one of only 7 land crossings of the Colorado River for 750 miles. In 1873, a ferry was first established to allow the crossing of the river. In 1928, the ferry sank, killing 3 people. Since the bridge construction had already begun and was almost complete, they chose not to replace the ferry. We're here at the old Navajo Bridge, the original bridge that was built, not intending all the vehicles of modern day that weigh as much as they do. So this old bridge was converted into a footbridge, and a new bridge behind me over there was built for all the vehicles of today. In case you're thinking about it, no jumping from the bridge. Navajo Bridge is well worth the visit if you're ever in the Glen Canyon area. The history is awesome and the views are epic. I highly recommend stopping by to visit. Our time at the Lee's Ferry area had come to an end. However, we were pretty excited to reach our next destination, which was only an hour drive away. I was able to book a couple of nights at the Antelope Point Marina Campground, which is located right off of Lake Powell. Here at the Antelope Point Marina and RV Park, every site here is pretty nice. As you can see behind me, our trailer's here. Pickup truck is right here. There's plenty of space. Most of these are either pull-throughs or large back-end sites. I think almost every single site here can accommodate a large rig. As you can see, I have a regular sized bed GMC pickup truck and a 20-foot Airstream caravel, and there is plenty of room here. Some of the sites here, I think for a few extra dollars per night, come with this with a built-in gas barbecue, as you can see here. Also have the artificial turf. You have your full hookups. You have your water, sewer, and you have your electric, complete with 30 and 50 amp service. But these upper level sites also come with a little fireplace here, picnic table, shade, and you also have your barbecue pits here. So very, very nice. Next time we come here, we might get one of these. The next morning, we made our way to the marina and rented a Sea-Doo to explore Lake Powell up close. Lake Powell was created in 1963 when the Glen Canyon Dam held back the waters of the Colorado River, forming a vast blue lake surrounded by beautiful sandstone walls. Remarkably, it took about 17 years for the lake to fill the canyon to the high water mark of 3,700 feet above sea level, giving America its second largest man-made lake and a playground like no other place on Earth. So we're here at Lake Powell. The annular eclipse is occurring right now. I'm not sure if you can see it through the camera, but what Erica pointed out, it looks pretty cool. It looks like a shadow even though the sun is out. It's not as bright as it was earlier, and I'm assuming that is because of that moon being in front of the sun. Pulled over at this little cove to warm up a little bit. Got a little bit of wind chill. It's a pretty cool little cove here. Let's go take a look here. Pretty cool. Can't beat this view. So we'll probably hang out here for a little bit, enjoy the sun, and then make our way to Labyrinth Canyon. Water's beautiful and clear here, and it's actually warm here near the shore. When you're on the Sea-Doo, it's a little chilly. We sure hope that you've enjoyed visiting the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area with us. We had a wonderful time admiring the beauty of the area and cooling off in the waters of the Colorado River and Lake Powell. Please join us next time as we travel north to Arches National Park in Utah. We'll explore the park, give you a tour of our campground, and also explore Moab, Utah, where we'll go on an off-road adventure.